want to tell you guys a spooky story. What happened in the Wild West? So, what happened in 1996? I wasn't even born yet. The Wild West came here and destroyed our country. And some two British guys came in and somehow destroyed the land. Well, they weren't very nice guys. They used to fight war and do all this bad stuff. Now, if you've never heard of the Stone Age, that's what it's a little bit like about the Stone Age. So they didn't have any electronics, or they didn't have any computers to contact people with. So you know what they used? A pad and paper to write down where they went and how they got there. So, this is how people used to live back then. Before TVs, before calculators, before phones. They had to make up their own entertainment, even before video games, of course. Well, they had to make their own entertainment, make up their own games. Back then, they didn't have any cell phones. Back in the 1960s. So these people came across the country in 1997 and started fighting war. And what is most interesting is these people wanted to destroy our country. But our President John F. Kennedy said, these people don't want to destroy the country. These people want to be arrested and put in jail. So the police came and arrested them. So if before George Washington was president, he was the very first president, but John F. Kennedy was a great man, and he thought a lot about our country, and he thought a lot about our country and thought about war back then. Well, people back then didn't know how to use computers or technology or anything. So they came up with their own entertainment. So they gathered their sleeping bag and pillow and blanket and slept in a tent. It was uncomfortable. So what they've decided to do is, let's invent beds. So they did. So they went to work and invented beds. Then, this was before mattresses and all this stuff. So, and this was before grocery stores were invented. So, so they went back into the woods and they thought about what they were gonna do the next day. And so the next day, they woke up one day and they thought about making their own food. So they went to the woods and they gathered some food and everything, and they ate it or something. But they had to make their own bacon or steak or cheese sticks or something, because they did not have grocery stores back then. So they were crying because they were poor. They were not rich. Of course they weren't rich, because back then rich people were invented. Rich wasn't even a thing. So they had to get their own money. So if you wanted to go to the store, you couldn't go to the store back then. So what they did is they thought about making land. So they bought land and started building a house. Yeah. So there was 50 people to live in. So how many people that live in a house now? A lot. So this was the first time they built a home. And so that's the end of my story.